Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 4 of our Las Vegas mini-series. This is the finale of 4 distinct videos that bring you guys to the absolute coolest spots near the Las Vegas area and plan your itinerary for you. In the last video, I guide you guys through Grand Canyon's West Rim, owned and administered by the Hualapai Indian tribe and not the National Park Service. It's a really neat place with excellent views, but it comes with some caveats that I unravel in episode 3. Today we are wrapping things up with my favorite place near the Las Vegas area, and that's a Death Valley National Park. Death Valley is a place that needs a little introduction. It's the location where the hottest temperature ever recorded was and where you'll find the lowest point in North America. All the while you have some of the most beautiful and colorful desert landscapes in the world. I first visited this park in May 2022 with my brother Sean and we were blown away. There were so many things we loved about the park, enough to where I felt inspired to make a repeat visit and get my parents out here this winter break. My mom had never been to Death Valley before and my stepfather Hugh hadn't been in eons. We were able to incorporate a visit to the national park at the very end of our Las Vegas trip, and I think it's clear that we saved the best for last. Death Valley National Park is located around 2.5 hours by car or about 130 miles from the city of Las Vegas. We enter through Nevada, meaning the most logical spot in the park for us to visit first was Dante's View. The last time I was here, I said this was one of the most amazing views I had ever seen, and I couldn't wait for my parents to see it. I think it's a fantastic way to begin a visit to Death Valley since you are literally looking into the valley floor, which contains most of the popular spots in the park that you'll be visiting later. Viewing the park's salt flats from 5,476 feet high is completely unreal. To give some context, here's Dante's View. This is where we are, 5,475 feet up, looking down at Badwater, 282 feet below sea level. That is an insane elevation change. And then over here we have Telescope Peak. That's where the snow is accumulated. That is 11,049 feet tall. In the videos I captured, it looks big, but in real life, Dante's View is absolutely huge. Just this large expanse of white connecting all throughout the valley floor, which is different from the last time I came here because back in May, it didn't really connect. I'm not sure why it was different this time, other than it may have something to do with more water accumulation at the valley floor. After all, there were literally snow-capped peaks during my visit, which deserves to be noted on its own. How is it that I'm in arguably the world's hottest place and there is snow on the mountains? I mean, if that doesn't speak to the area's diversity, I don't know what does. Up next, we drive 30 minutes to Zabriskie Point, which you access right along the route to the valley floor. This is yet another thing here that I remember thinking was incredible, but this time around I was awestruck. Truth be told, there is nothing else in the world quite like Zabriskie Point. The Golden Badlands are just so unique from every angle, and something new I had the chance to experience this time around was the Badlands Loop Trail that takes you into Zabriskie Point itself. So you basically get to walk along the Badlands, through the washes, and will get unique perspectives with none of the crowds at the main overlook. If you happen to be visiting Zabriskie Point when you visit Death Valley, which you definitely should, you'd be crazy to pass up this hike. The most popular location in Death Valley National Park is Badwater Basin, which I used to question since the first time I came here it was one of the less memorable places we visited. But see, my brother and I didn't make it all the way to the salt flats, we just walked along the path for a while and thought that it just went on and on. This is true until the area opens up and you have this endless white basin that you can run around to your heart's content. I had so much fun here. Badwater Basin feels like a playground, and not only is it unique in appearance, it is also the lowest point in North America at 282 feet below sea level. There's actually a marker that gives some perspective on how low you currently are. It's really kind of crazy. Now, if you're a fan of Badwater Basin, which I know I certainly am after this visit, you have to check out the nearby Devil's Golf Course. In my opinion, this is a really underrated spot, mostly because it takes a little extra effort to get to by driving on a non-paved road. But the road isn't too rough at all. Any 2x2 vehicle should be able to make it no problem. It was once said that only the devil could play golf on such harsh terrains, and so the name stuck. It's completely otherworldly to look around and see the sharp mineral deposits and spiky salt crystals all around you. Something cool I got to experience when we came here in May was when it was 115 degrees Fahrenheit out. At Devil's Golf Course, you could hear the salt crystals expanding and contracting. This only happens when it's really hot out, and because it was only in the 50s today, we unfortunately didn't get that opportunity. But it's still well worth the visit and such a wild spot in the park that frankly doesn't get enough recognition. A spot that definitely does is Artist Drive, which is the most popular scenic route in the park. Artist Drive is a 9-mile paved road that winds through multicolored eroded hills and mountains. It is so much fun winding around and dipping past these colorful formations. There are a few pullouts along the route, which you're going to want to plan in advance since it is a one-way road. The one that everyone has to stop by is Artist Palette, which is a really nice display of colors in one view. Personally, I've never understood why people give Artist Palette the spotlight above Artist Drive because it's really just a part of the greater scenic route. But nevertheless, it never hurts to stop on by. Last but certainly not least, we took a detour to the Mesquite Flat sand dunes to wrap up a jam-packed day at Death Valley. We tried to get there by sunset, but unfortunately because of how early it gets dark, it was a little late by the time we arrived. Still, we had a lot of fun running around the sand dunes, especially with the minimal lighting. It honestly felt like we were living in a movie scene. I definitely would like to spend more time in the dune field when the sun's out and potentially even hike out to the highest dune, which takes 2.8 miles of up and down hiking. But as it stands, Death Valley National Park is currently my favorite desert park in the national park system. Do I expect that to remain after hiking into the Grand Canyon, or arch hunting at Arches National Park, or experiencing Angel's Landing at Zion? Well, maybe, maybe not, but what I can say is that none of those parks can replicate the harsh extremes of the Death Valley wilderness. It's a place I'd recommend anyone to come and visit, but just make sure not to come in the summer unless substantial precautions are taken. As for the trip as a whole, it was a lot of fun seeing what the space around Las Vegas had to offer in terms of natural beauty. To visit some of these spots for the first time or make new memories at parks I were revisiting was equally incredible. I hope this series has inspired you to travel more and have made it easier for those of you looking to visit or who currently live in or around Las Vegas. If so, definitely feel free to give this video a like and subscribe to Travel Dash for more content like this to come in the future. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.